I'm Wolf from Healing Wolf Coaching, here to laugh with you across the ocean of recovery. Let's take a deep breath in and release it with some laughter to lighten our moods about this odyssey we're on. Inhale through the nose slowly, then laugh it out. Releasing all the air, then keeping our breath sort of slow on the exhale as we continue on. So this journey can be likened to an odyssey where you're crossing the ocean, and on the journey you want to choose your crew wisely. You want to choose a crew that's going to support you, that's going to lift you up and inspire you. You want cheerleaders, you want advocates, you want people who are going to see that you're coming through it, that you're going to recover even when you can't see that. So that's a big role that I play as a coach, other coaches, other therapists. The role is one of seeing you beyond where you can see yourself going. So, in other words, I hold an intention for each of my clients, and I see them recovered. And that intention is like a fire that fuels their recovery. They don't have to see it. I'm the one who sees it, and they know I see it, and they know it's coming because it's an intention that moves into their minds, and then in their minds there's a system that makes it happen. Unconscious mind moves them in that direction and gets them to where they want to go, gets them to the other shore, to home, which is a calmer nervous system. So choose your crew wisely. Back on my own journey, I had a crew, a ragged crew, an interesting crew, an international crew. I had a crew of other people on the journey with me. Some were on other continents. I would call them in the middle of the night and they'd say, "Yes, brother, I've been where you are. I know what's going on. Things are getting better and better for me. I'm going back to work. I'm driving." They were encouraging me, saying, "Yeah, this isn't as complicated as you thought. This isn't as dire as you thought. This is really something you can do. You can move forward here." I have my best friend from college, Jason. He's from Belize. And he said, I called him when I was down in the pit, down in the darkest pit of hell, really burning with chronic pain, a lot of intense sensations. And he said, "You will recover, brother. You will recover." And I took with that Belizean patois, they speak like this, and they have a confidence in themselves and in you. So I recorded it on my phone. And Jason was a big part of my crew. He was the first one I called when my father died. On my journey, I called him and I cried to him. And he continued to hold that confidence that I would recover. And then when his own father passed, I was there for him. So your crew is really going to empower you and move you forward. They're going to hold space for you. They're going to hold a vision for you. And they're going to inspire you. They'll send you things. They'll chat with you. They'll check in with you. Even if they don't understand what you're going through, they might just love you and say, "I can't even imagine what that would be like, but I know you're going to do it. I know you're going to find your way through because you're an amazing person. You've come this far in life. I've seen you overcome many, many challenges from childhood forward, and I know you're going to make it." So choose your crew. Choose a physician who's open-minded to this process, this mind-body process, which some call TMS, some used to call PPD. Now they're calling it something neuroplastic sensations, something like that. Dr. Clark has that set up. And It doesn't matter what you call it. It's unconscious mind creating sensations to make you cautious, to keep you safe, to give you energy to fight or flee. And what we do is we move forward. We don't fight or flee, but we move confidently forward with that energy so that the sensations can dissipate. So look for that. And a physician, you probably have a physician on your journey. You want one who's going to say to you, as one of mine did, he said, Wolf, you know more about this than anyone I've ever spoken to. I don't know as much about it, but it's working for you. I can see that you're moving forward. I'll help you in whatever way I can with medications, but otherwise you're on the right track. I know you're on the right track. I've read some studies about this. I know a little bit about it, and we really need people to go on this journey, on this trip. So he was a crew member. You might have a physical therapist. You might have a personal trainer. You might have a partner, a husband, a wife. You might have kids. You might have people you're surrounded with, your community. You go to the barber shop and they say, hey, man, you're going to do it. You know, you go to the salon and they're people, they know what you've been through a little bit and they're cheering for you. You don't want people who focus on the negative. You don't want people to say, oh, that's so hard. That's terrible. How can you live with that? How can you do it? Oh, I would be dead if I had it. No, we leave them on the shore. We bring our crew on to our ship. We choose them. We get to say yes and no to this crew. And sometimes that means letting go of people who've been close to you your whole life, people who you've been bound with by blood or by circumstance. So, if possible, find someone who's been across the ocean before, who's crossed that ocean, who's on your crew, like your first mate, and they know what to expect from the storms, from what they call flare-ups, I call recovery responses, from the despair that can arise, from the negative thinking. There's so many things that come into this recovery. So you want a first mate who's been on this ocean, who's a seasoned sea captain, who knows how to navigate not only storms, but winds, sunny days, shipwrecks, islands, whatever. You want someone who's going to be able to know what it's like to recover, to come through these phases. There are a lot of different phases. So on my own journey, I found a sea captain who became like a brother to me, and he was still on the ocean. He was still in his recovery. He was still experiencing some intense sensations, but he'd come so far that I could see his progress, and it gave me strength and inspiration to keep going. So it's okay if you find a first mate who's still on the ocean, who's still working with their nervous system to recover. Some of these recovery journeys can span years, some can span decades, and those folks are the ones you want on your crew because they know what's happening. They've found the passages on the ocean. They've found the currents. They've found their way to navigate. They know how to read the stars. They're just magical people. They're magical captains. So stick with them. You're always going to be the hero and the captain of your own journey. But to have someone who can be on the journey with you on the ship as a crew, and someone who also knows that once you get on that ship, you're crossing that ocean. And you know that too. So it's okay as well on your journey. If you have one crew for a while, then you shift to another crew, then you shift to another crew. That's fine. If you're working with one coach and that coach brings you forward to a point where you realize you might want to work on something over here that's out of his wheelhouse or her wheelhouse, maybe you want to work on some let's say, nutritional stuff or some exercise stuff, and you need a serious, not serious, but you need a great captain in the physical realm to build up your body. And not that this is a body issue, but you get the picture. You can shift along the way, or you can have one solid first mate and you captain that ship. And when the storms come up, they're there for you. They hold the vision. They're with you sailing across this ocean on an odyssey of recovery. If you've enjoyed this video and you feel like it's brought some value to your own journey and some perspective, then please subscribe and give it a thumbs up and comment. Let me know who you're choosing for your crew. If you want me on your crew as a coach, as a one-on-one coach, visit my website at healingwolfcoaching.com and sign up for my newsletter and set up a consult. It's a free consult where we strategize. You tell me what's going on and we figure out the best way forward, the techniques that we can use to move you across that ocean of recovery. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.